morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin.
Welcome to Premarket Info. On today's show, we're going to look at Apple. A little downgrade from a little brokerage. House knocks 25 points off of the stock, and the whole market starts to pull down with it. This market's still looking weak here this morning, and we could possibly test 1400 here today. We're going to talk about earnings from DELL, from Toll Brothers, Williams-Sonoma, and American Eagle Outfitters. And we've got a merger here this morning. HCN is going to buy Sunrise Assisted Living for $14.50 a share. We'll talk about the sympathy plays as well. Well, Joel, what happened with Apple yesterday?
Oracle Investment Partners. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I never heard of them before, so I'm not sure who that was, but it just shows how nervous this market is because Oracle Investment Partners or Oracle Investment Research comes out with a downgrade midday on Apple, and the market just goes into a free fall on, and the stock falls literally like 15 points when that downgrade came out. You can see it here on the chart, and continues to drift down. We get as low as 650.
Yeah, it's just amazing that a little nobody like that firm can knock that much market cap off Apple. I think it's just a byproduct of the very thinly traded stock, and with anybody comes in with a good piece and wants to influence the price of it in either direction, it's not very hard to do. But from a technical standpoint, nearly impossible to pick that 674.88 high. So that's a major number, 20 points away from that. We are trading below the close, 656. That should be a good swing number. But I'm going to go to the Dennis's whole number theory. Tuesday's low, 650.33. Monday's low, 649.90. A gap down to Friday's high and close at 650 level is now just critical support for Apple. As long as it holds that, I still say that it's in an uptrend. I'd like to see another bounce off that 650 and hold for another day and then go crashing through it.
We got to hold that 650 on Apple and keep Apple on your screen. Even if you're not trading Apple today, keep it on your screen as an indicator, because what happened when Apple rolled over, the whole entire market started to turn and roll over here as well yesterday. And I think Apple is going to again be your leader here today. You can just see what happened with the market. Once that came out, the market just came crashing down. That downgrade came out. So you've got to keep Apple on your screen. It's your leader. If you're trading a stock like Google, it's your leader too, because Apple and Google, we've been saying this for a while, they do track each other, and Google just went into a free fall when then Apple started to sell off too.
Yeah, just want to alert traders in the Google. Google got a little bit better of a bounce than the Apple did off the low. 662.17 was the low, so I would keep an eye on that level. You do have another low at 659, so let's just call that 660 for a psychological level there in Google to hold.
Got some of the other Big Ten you wanted to highlight. Obviously, the whole market started to look a little bit scary yesterday that it would sell off that quickly. IBM had a sell-off there yesterday as well.
Yeah, a couple of the Big Ten are setting up very similar technical patterns to the S&Ps. The S&Ps had a series of lows in the 1409.50, 1410 area. We did get below that level yesterday, 1408. We have traded below in the pre-market, so we're just hanging out. We're not bouncing hard out of here and going back up to 14.15. So that's an ominous sign here for the market. But as far as the IBM goes, major support. We'll call it 198. Look at the 5, 6, and 7-day lows in that stock, 197.75. The 4-day low at 198.12. Couldn't quite get there yesterday, but really that's an major support in IBM.
Yeah, there's major support there. I can see those lows that you're talking about. Seeing similar setups in ExxonMobil there, Joel, where you're coming into a whole area too where it's had major support before.
Yeah, ExxonMobil, you have the 8-day low at 87.15 currently where it's trading, and Monday's low was just a bit above that. That's just kind of been creeping down. That's not quite as good a setup as you have in Microsoft. We always love to talk about the double tops and triple tops and double bottoms and triple bottoms. Well, lo and behold, here in Microsoft, you have a triple bottom here right at the 3060 area. It keeps holding there and trying to scratch through 31, which is just the number on the upside. Gonna get a breakout. This technical pattern is gonna be resolved one way or another here, breaking down below 3060 and going back to 30, or finally getting through that 31 level, going up to 3150.
Yeah, you got the channel there is defined from the last 4 days, so just play that. If it starts to break through that, though, could get ugly because there's not a heck of a lot of support below that area that you just cited, that 3060 area. We could open up down to the $30 area. But you've got to keep an eye on Apple again, so I'm just going to reiterate it throughout the show. Apple, very important if you're trading any of these stocks, especially the tech stocks. If Apple can start to form a bottom and start to rally, I think the whole market will pull up with it. If it starts to take out that 650 Apple, look out because we could see 1400 on the S&P. We do have some earnings to talk about here. Dell Computer reported last night after the bell, 50 cents against estimates of 45 cents. Lowered guidance though, so they beat but lowered guidance. The stock is trading down at $11.60 right now. If you go out to this August 2nd low, we got as low as $11.39. That could come into play today.
Yep, Dell certainly smells here. It's gotten a few pops off these levels, but now it's just kind of sagging. I can't really tell you that we are forming a bottom here. 1157 has been the low, and there's just no bouncing it. Decent amount of volume associated with this. You have a reference point, as you mentioned, 1139 was the low back on August 2nd. So here's a stock that trades a lot of volume. You got it down almost a stick in the pre-market. Keep an eye on that pre-market low right up to 930 and see what the big volume does. I'll just harken back to yesterday. When we were calling for Best Buy to go to $10, and it bounced off some major support at 1642. I believe that was a low from last year. And hey, that thing almost got positive on the
Best Buy
days.
did trade positive actually, just for a few minutes there. It got up and just snuck positive, and I got a couple emails that like, what's happening with Best Buy? Why does this thing have such a bad report and rally? Well, the simple thing is this is like a whole capitulatory move. I think every institution washed out there on the open. People that were holding the stock for the whole Schultz thing, obviously the couple days before, are very nervous because Schultz basically in the Best Buy stopped discussing the merger, at least for now. So you get everybody that's holding it for that, and then you get people that were like, oh, okay, well maybe the earnings will be okay. They hold through there, and the earnings were just a mess. So you get everybody washing out on that opening print. That's the capitulatory move. And then what happens is once everybody's out, and you've got shorts in there too, people putting on shorts saying this thing's going down. There's so much bad news. Then obviously the path of least resistance, when so many short-term traders get negative on the stock, market sentiment's so negative on the stock, the short-term path of least resistance becomes higher, and the stock actually just rallies. So you probably have some short covering. You have people that basically were, now I've sold the bottom, now I've got to scramble to get back in. And just long term, I still don't like Best Buy that much, but short term, wouldn't surprise me if you start to see this thing show some strength here again. I think you had that capitulatory move.
Yeah, and just to go back, just strictly from a technical perspective, you had Monday's low on that stock at 1814. Lo and behold, it trades all the way down to 16 and a quarter, rallies $2, which is pretty big on a percentage
Oh yeah,
basis for this
12%.
stock. Yep, and then you look, it goes to 1834, so it goes 20 cents above the previous day's low. I would keep a real close eye on this 1834 high and see if you could get a couple closes above that in Best Buy, and I might even buy some.
I'm not. You're gonna
Oh,
buy
I
Best
know,
Buy
I
after
know.
all that stuff you've said about a negative. You were right. You've been right, but I think this is still just a bounce. I'm not putting any Best Buy in my
Okay, all right,
portfolio.
all right.
But I
Enough
do
of Best
agree.
Buy.
I think today I kind of kind of agree with you. I think for a trade here, I think it starts getting back above that 1834. I think you can see 19 bucks. That's just a trade though. Don't get married to that position and make sure you have an out because that's just looking for more technical bouncing is all that is. Let's go back over to we were talking about Dell. Hewlett Packard reports here after the bell as well, and obviously Hewlett Packard. I don't know why my chart's not coming up on it, but Hewlett Packard is trading down here in the pre-market at 1950, closed at 1993. So it is down in sympathy with the overall Dell news there, but obviously they have earnings here after the bell. So what's your take on Hewlett Packard?
I think you're just gonna have people squaring positions here if it gets anywhere down that $19 level is huge. Since it made the low at 1906 on the 9th of this month, it's made highs above that level. So I couldn't get real bearish on this stock unless it breaks below $19. But they're similar companies. They're not exactly the same companies. So I don't know. Everyone's been talking about Meg Whitman and the magic she's going to work with this company, but I don't know.
Well,
do they still sell copy machines or not?
I don't know. I think they sell. I think they sell a little bit of everything there, buddy. But obviously, PCs is still their main thing. And when you're going head to head with Apple, like really, that's what you got. The Dells, you got the Hewlett Packards. People are switching to Macs. People like the Macs. They're sick of getting viruses. I mean, I've had a Hewlett Packard here. Bought Hewlett Packard computers. I usually replace my computer almost every year. I've just replaced mine last year, and I've already had to reformat the hard drive. I've had problems with it. I'm just telling myself I've got to switch to the Mac too because I'm sick of having the problems with all these things. Sure, it's twice as much money, but if it's if it's way less headaches, it's well worth it to me. And I think you just have people doing it. They're sick of the PC headaches. So, anyways, that's my rant on Hewlett Packard. Not in love with that one either. Toll Brothers reported though, and here's a stock that continues to do everything right. It defies logic. 36 cents they make against estimates of 18. Said this is the strongest that they've seen demand in over 5 years right now. It's trading
Where?
up.
Where?
I don't know where, but there's results everywhere. It looks like everywhere because the results are just ridiculous. The stock. Look at where this stock has come from. Let's just look back at the charts on the weekly. We were down here at $13 in October of last year. We are now at $31 or 33. We're trading 33.10 in the pre-market because of the earnings. We're up here again. This is just an unbelievable mood for all of these home builders. I mean, these things, I had them written off for dead pretty much, and they have come back, and they are coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, decent volume associated with this move. Over 100,000 shares trade. The initial spike took it up to 33.50, so that will be your bogey on the upside. Since it's hit that 33 level, it's come down and find a little home here at 33.10. If you're playing this from the long side, off the hop, below 33, I think you might want to have a quick exit strategy because looking at the dailies, you got a little bit of a fall there to 32.49. And coincidentally there, you had a triple top at 32.50. So if you decide to fade this off the open, make sure you have some bids out in the mid 32.50s there because it will for sure get a bounce off that 32.50 level. Yep. Not for sure. Nothing's for sure. Read our disclaimer and then listen to what I just said.
We've got a lot of the other home builders are moving up in sympathy here too. We've got DHI is up 30 cents. We got KB Homes up with the report just a little bit, 1067. So all these home builders look like they're going to be stronger again. It's crazy. You would have never thought in this economy that really doesn't look great that the home builders would be the strongest looking sector right now, but it really is the case, and it's been the case pretty much all year.
Can you give us a little bit of an example of your sympathy trading on Monday?
If we go back to the sympathy trading on Monday, that didn't work that great. We were talking about the merger there with Humana with what was the merger? I don't even remember now. Throw me under the bus here talking about Monday.
Like HealthNet or somebody?
Yeah. Anyways, we were talking about mergers back there, and it was Centene was the sympathy play. There was a couple sympathy plays, WCG, Centene. We had a merger obviously in the sector
Aetna.
there. Yeah, Aetna was buying. Who did they buy?
wasn't it Health? It wasn't HealthNet. It was some other
This is what
small health.
happens because we're such short-term traders. We already forget about what happened on Monday, and I don't know why my quote server is so slow here this morning trying to bring it up. But regardless, we had that Centene really sold off, and I bought I bought a couple of them, and a couple of them worked in the whole healthcare sector. And I bought Centene, and I bought WCG, and I bought a couple other ones, and I actually did okay. But the Centene started to sell off, and it was the only one that was red in the sector. And I'm not sure if we're ever going to get a quote, but there it is. It's coming up here now. But Centene was the only one that was red here in the sector. Wow. My quote server. This is why you don't have a Hewlett Packard, Joel. The thing's
Okay,
just slow here
I'll
right now.
short some Hewlett Packard right
Anyway,
now.
Centene I bought here off the hop. I bought 500 shares. Not quite off the hop, but it was trading red and was the only one red. And I was like, well, a lot of these other ones are green. This thing's going to come back. So I bought 500 shares, and it started going down and getting against me. So I'm like, well, it's too much stock. I don't know where this is going. So I sold 400 for like a 20-cent loss, which but I kept 100. I was like, I'm going to keep 100 just to see what happens. I kept 100 shares. Look what happens. The stock goes from 42 all the way down to 37.73. I'm not joking. I never do that, but it was 100 shares. I'm like, well, how much can I lose on 100 shares? Oh, it's 4 points on 100 shares on that thing. I'm sure glad I didn't hold all 500, but it just shows you have to have an out. So here, next time I'm dumping the entire position because I would have never guessed that I could lose that much on that one stock there. But what happened is, I think you get a lot of the pair traders coming in and saying, look, there's a lot of stocks up here in the sector. This one's down. We're going to buy this. And they start accumulating positions. The high frequency traders realize there's no liquidity. There's no opening liquidity on stocks like this. So they start taking it down, basically beating up the pair traders. And then the pair traders start scrambling, looking for liquidity. Everybody's looking for liquidity in the same direction. And they drive the thing down 4 points. It's an insane move for this stock. You can just see on the chart, it's an insane move. So that's what happened, I think, in Centene. They're coming on and trying to justify it, saying, "Oh well, now there's nobody left to acquire Centene in the sector, and they're going to left out." And they try to justify with fundamentals always on CNBC. The bottom line was you had a lot of pair traders caught there. There wasn't any liquidity, and people are scrambling for liquidity. And the high frequency traders know it, and they drive the stock lower. And
So
that's
the
kind of what
lesson of
happened.
that rant is if you do a sympathy play
Have an out.
and it doesn't work out, don't feel sorry for yourself.
Get
Get
out.
the hell out of it.
Yeah, get out. You've got to have an out. So don't take a. And I always preach, and it's like, I always preach that thing, and here I didn't listen to my own preaching, and I held just 100 shares. I figure I can't lose that much. You can lose a lot. So don't end up holding like 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that, because it could get ugly. But the reason Joel is bringing that up is because we have a merger here again today. HCN is acquiring Sunrise Senior Living, SRZ, for $14.50 a share. Stock closed at 8.93. Interesting if you look at the chart. I know you're going to point this out. Look at the run up it's had in
Huh.
August. So who got the memo on this one? I don't know. But stock getting bought up for 14.50 cash. So
Wow. Look at that run up. I mean, that's just 650 makes the run to eight and a quarter very easily. And then just over the last couple days, lo and behold, it just goes up. 7 million shares have traded. Unbelievable. Someone got the memo on that. I got to get the news service from that. I think every buyer they'd be on going up on what day was it in particular, where it just had the big rally.
yeah, I
Oh,
was
when it
back
went
on
from
the third.
yeah. I mean, on the third. I mean, it's just it just makes you think that the Wall Street rules and the rest of us are mules.
It looks like somebody got the memo on that. When a stock goes from 650 up to $9 here, now it's at 14.50. But there is going to be sympathy plays with this one too, and just make sure you have an out. Typically these do work, but they did not work on Monday. But typically they do work. And look at stocks like Kindred, KND, stocks like ALC, or some of your other assisted living ones. ALC is actually trading up here 50 cents. So, and here's one that's really sold off. So you got a lot of air in this one. Look at that chart on ALC, Joel.
Yeah, what? That thing has really gotten killed, and now it has a potential breakout here at the $750 level. You had three tops, 746, 745, and 752, trading smartly above that. If you're a patient buyer, you may want to wait for that level, but you may not get it. The spike in the pre-market's taken up to 810, so that's your initial resistance point.
I don't think there's
But
any
I can
resistance on
honestly
that.
tell you, there's air up to
There's
10
air,
bucks
man.
in this
There's
thing. Look
air on
at
that
that.
thing.
That's scary. And then more air up to 12, and then more air up to 14.
But who knows? Yeah, it's all air everywhere there. So, and who knows? If these sympathy plays do start to materialize and they do start to go, it's got room to run. But remember, it didn't work on Monday, but it typically does work. Other stocks are like BKD, Brookdale. That's a little bigger one in the sector. But well, Brookdale, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they've announced news here too because it's trading up over a it's trading up $2 here, Joel. $22 right now. So there is definitely some sympathy going on. CSU is another one that could trade up here a little bit to 11. No trades on that one yet, but it's another one in the sector. So keep an eye on these senior living stocks. They're going to be moving. Looks like and looks like to the upside, at least for right now. Getting back to the market here, though, are we going to hold above 1400 or are we taking it out?
Well, we're getting a little bounce here. Apple leading the way here, trading up almost 3 points. You're good. You're gonna get a bounce. I mean, as long if you really are just a pesky bull, I guess you just got to focus on this 1406.50 level. If that's not taken out during the regular session here, then we could just drift back up. Just want to point on the upside. I've given you the levels on the downside. You had the close here at 14.12.50. You also had a close at 14.14.75 on Monday, and Friday's close at 14.15 and a quarter. So got three closes in a pretty important area. Look for resistance up at that 14.15 level.
That's our show for today. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow.